Here is a quote from Zane Tankle, for example, in this interview.
The model's been set. I don't want to, I'm sure all our people are watching this right now, so I don't want to make any commitments one way or another. I want to simply say we're looking at it, we're evaluating it. If it's possible to do without cutting people back, I'm delighted to do it. But that also rolls back expansion. It rolls back hiring more people. And in a best case scenario, we only shrink the labor force minimally.
Oh, Obamacare is just going to take him apart. It's just going to destroy. For this guy to have to actually provide health insurance to his employees. Keep going. He really is a Scrooge who can't be bothered. I mean, since voters last Tuesday rejected House Republicans' attempts to repeal Obamacare, it is now, to quote Speaker of the House John Boehner, law of the land, Obamacare. That means beginning in 2014, corporations across America that employ more than 50 people will have a new civic responsibility under the law to provide health insurance to their workers. This is the employer mandate at work. Health insurance is not a luxury in this country. Obamacare is not forcing employers to give their workers a new big screen TV or monthly spa treatments. The law simply recognizes that 45,000 Americans die every year because they don't have health insurance. And that large employers, those who employ 50 or more people, are best equipped to be a source of life-saving medical care for millions of working Americans. It's an idea that was first proposed by that socialist president who wanted to take over America's healthcare system back in 1971, Richard Nixon. In fact, providing health insurance to employees is a good business decision. Not only attracts more qualified workers, it also leads to higher job retention rates, higher employer satisfaction. But don't tell Zane Tankle that. He's outraged. Since he employs more than 50 people, he's now going to be required to provide health insurance to his workers, which many of his competitors and small businesses already do. If Tankle wants to keep screwing his employees, then he'll have to pay a $2,000 freeloader fine for every worker who will now have to rely on government programs like Medicaid to get the care they need. And that was that clip that you just heard from when he was on Fox Business Report, where he says, well, we'll see, we've done the math and they're going to try to only shrink minimally. Right. Poor Zane Tankle. He says if he's forced to give his employees health insurance, then he's first going to have to fire some of them. 100 years ago, he'd likely have said the same thing about bathroom breaks for his employees, or having 12-year-olds run his fryers, or letting food inspectors into his restaurants. The vast majority of Americans have clearly concluded that if a business owner can't run his business in the best interest of the community and its workers, which includes providing health insurance, then he or she doesn't deserve to run a business. Get out of the way. Let somebody come into that space who can. There used to be a business ethic in America that put the community ahead of profit. It went back to when Henry Ford wanted to pay his workers enough so that they could buy the Model Ts that they were producing. It's a business ethic that was enforced by law back when state governments could, and often did, this throughout the 19th century, and the 18th century for that matter, revoke the corporate charters of businesses that were operating against the best interests of the community. But that business ethic has been replaced by Wall Street's good-as-greed ethic. Reaganomics, which finds its roots in Victorian England and stories like A Christmas Carol, where working people are condemned to Bob Cratchit poverty, forced to toil long hours under modern-day Ebenezer Scrooges with crappy pay and no benefits. Charles Dickens, whose father once went to debtor's prison, would have blown his lunch at the idea of Ebenezer Scrooge being honored with a title like job creator. And now Fox is treating Zane Tankle as if he and not his customers are the job creators. Tankle claims the math just doesn't add up to be able to provide health insurance to some of his employees without firing some of them first. He says there's 3 ways to make a comeback. He says about the money needed to pay for health insurance. Here it is.
There's 3 ways it has to come back. It's real simple. More efficiencies, reduce overhead, or raise prices. Let's look at each. In this environment, you can't raise prices, particularly in our space. It's not possible. efficiencies. Hopefully, we've got all our efficiencies. We've just faced 3 terrible years in the environment and the economy. We've been enforcing and putting more and more in every year. So then it's cut back on overhead.
As in, let's fire people or pay them even less. What Tankle doesn't want to admit is that he actually has more than 3 ways to pay for health insurance. He can also cut his own salary. He can also reduce the dividends he pays to his stockholders. The math is there, but Tankle would have to reconsider his own greed. And since Scrooge wouldn't do those things, neither will Tankle. Tankle is also stupidly acting as if he's the only one who will be affected by Obamacare. All big businesses will have to cover their employees' health insurance now. So whatever business hit Applebee's takes will also be felt by his competitors. He's at no disadvantage whatsoever. But on outlets like Fox Business, the victims of this insane right-wing thinking aren't the 45,000 Americans who die every year because they don't have health insurance. Instead, the victims are multimillionaires like Zane Tankle, who will have to sacrifice some of their bottom line to keep their employees healthy. One of the Fox News business talking heads asks Tankle, well, check this out.
Is this the most challenging time you've ever seen?
It is. It is. And
because of the regulations?
All the regulations.
Yeah, right. Oh, this is so sad. Unlike what you hear in the conservative media outlets, President Obama has not deployed his brown shirts to confiscate private property and redistribute Zane Tankle's wealth. He hasn't choked out the private sector with big government regulations. In fact, corporate profits under President Obama are astronomically high. The average annual real corporate profit growth rate since President Obama took office is 77.9%, which makes Obama the best president for corporate profits since 1900.